Hello and welcome to Bored and Confused Mom Edition, where we're talking about shows that Mom saw during her 1 week trip to New York City. It was 10 days, really. Okay.
9.
9 days?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that again.
You don't need to do it again.
So what show do you have for us today?
Well, I just saw Operation Mincemeat.
Yes, just the other night.
Yes.
How was it?
It was a lot of fun. I loved it. Actually, I was familiar with the story because I had seen the movie on TV with Colin Firth, so I knew the whole story. But it was just interesting to see how cleverly they wove everything together, and some people might not know the story, so it kind of evolves as that you find out a little more at a time.
And you saw the all-American cast.
Yes.
All the original Brits
Yes.
who wrote the show and were performing it for over a year have gone back across the pond. How was the cast?
They were really good. I was worried because I seem to have trouble sometimes understanding British accents based on some other shows I saw. But I could understand them.
But did you do the headset this
I
time?
tried the headset and I had it on and off kind of during the time because I don't think I really needed it. And it was just
So ultimately, did you not use the headset?
kind of maybe 40% of the time.
Anytime
I
they
used
started
it.
singing really fast, you were like, wait, what?
No, I could really much understand it.
I mean, it's hard for anyone to understand because it's
But also,
a lot of patter songs,
yes,
a lot of very
but
fast
also because I
lyrics.
knew the plot already,
Yeah.
and that helped a lot.
So you knew what was going on. So did you laugh?
Oh yeah, I laughed a lot. It was the songs, although I don't know that they were terribly memorable. They were they
You
were
were humming
catchy.
one.
I was humming one. So
This morning, which one? It was the opening
it's
song.
the opening song, which they reprise a
And
couple
there
of times.
we are the men. We
reprise
are
is how you say it.
We are the masters.
Yeah, it's
And-
like some were born to follow. We
And
were born
we
to lead.
were born
or
to
to
lead.
lead.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that was an earworm because she was humming it this morning. What was your favorite part of the show? Was there a moment that was especially funny or especially touching?
Well, I think everybody knows when they're making up a letter for the made-up corpse person, that the person that sings
Hester.
Hester, thank you. Hester is obviously older. Oh, you can't tell from the characters, but she says, "I've been around."
Yeah.
So I'm assuming.
Well, she was there for the other one.
Yes, and that's why I assume when she makes up the letter that's what happened to her during the First World War.
It's a moment.
So it's very touching, and I know
Yeah.
that the original guy, didn't he get nominated for
I think
a
he
Tony
won.
or
He won the supporting.
And
What's
that's
great?
because it's the part, it's the words that really make that.
What I love about that song is it's the only time really where they are serious and
That's
sincere
true,
in
and
the
it
show.
is, it is.
And I think they earn it because the rest of it's so funny and so wild.
Yes.
It actually, we feel like we need a moment.
Yeah, we need a moment.
Where we can just
Yeah.
be. And I think maybe at the very end they try to do it too with this idea of who was this guy.
Yes, and this is something that was in the movie they did not do. Okay, so they just talk about who the guy was. How did they know? Because I think it was his sister showed up at the morgue looking for the body.
Oh, is that what really happened?
Yes, and then there was some whole silly thing going with that because they had to figure out what to tell her
Oh, okay.
because they didn't have the body.
And they chose not to go on that maybe because
Yes.
it maybe
Probably
would have
just
taken too
maybe
serious.
or complicated it, but
Yeah.
actually in the movie though it wasn't all that just because of the scrambling. Oh no, what do we
Yeah.
do now?
Yeah.
And I don't remember what they did now. They somehow convinced her he was a hero or something.
Well, he was in
Yeah,
some
and maybe
ways.
they gave him a medal. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I saw that show.
So were you bored at all?
No, not really. I thought, and I have to say, okay, so I had this seat that was behind a railing, but it wasn't really because I was on the aisle, so I didn't have to look over the railing. But the couple from Australia sitting next to me kind of had to, but they were taller. But then in intermission, they moved us all down because they evidently had some empty
It's
seats.
I believe you were in
That was nice.
you were in row E, I think, like
Yes.
31 or something. Where did we
Yes.
get the tickets? I bought it on TDF.
Oh, okay.
Bought the ticket on TDF because it was $60 and I knew the seat behind that railing. It was the one right on the aisle and it's a great
Yeah.
seat because even though the railing's there, you can look down the
Well, yeah,
aisle.
I had perfect. There was nobody,
great
and I'm
seat.
short, so it was good
Yeah.
because nobody was in front
And
of
that
me.
one seat was available, so I was like $60.
Yeah.
That's the same price as it is on the lottery. So I was like,
Oh yeah,
so we just bought it.
And
yeah.
then when they moved us down, there was nobody sitting in front
Yeah,
of
so
me,
you
so
had
I had a
great-
great view of everything because that's always my big concern. Being short, I don't like having to look around
Great.
people.
And so were you confused at all?
No, not really, since I knew the
knew the
story
story.
particularly. So if there were any words that I might have missed, I wouldn't have been
Great.
confused. I have to say, no, except the fact that the cast played a whole lot of different characters. So sometimes it took me a minute to figure out who are these people, because it was the same actors playing other people. But it was fine because the pace moved very fast. So you didn't have time to really think about who they were, because then they would do whatever their bit was and then move on to something else. Yes.
You know what I love about this show is it's so cool that it's just 5 actors, and it's also fun that there's 3 women and 2 men telling a very male story.
Yes.
And I just love how Hester, the woman, is played by a male, and then the main male
man
characters.
is played by a woman. He's the one that Colin Firth, I think that was the part in the movie that Colin Firth played, because he was kind of the in-charge person.
Yeah, so I love how they mix that up, and then I also love seeing a woman's take on this kind of hyper-masculine alpha male.
Yeah, she was really good, I thought,
Yeah.
at it.
It's fun.
Yes, very
All
good.
right, so that's Operation Mincemeat. Mom liked it,
Yes.
so go check it out. And what are you seeing tonight?
Oh, I'm seeing, wait, what is it?
Maybe Happy Ending.
Maybe Happy Ending.
Without Darren
Without
Criss.
Darren Criss.
In bold letters
I'm
on the
only
ticket.
going to be here a couple more days. I had
Yeah.
another show I couldn't
Now, look,
work that in
the
to
ticket is
see.
a lot cheaper if Darren Criss is
It's not
there.
in it. So I really wanted to see the show, and I didn't even know he was back in it.
Yeah.
Because I figured he wouldn't be. He was in it initially.
Yep.
So
So we'll be talking about that soon.
well, I feel like if there's so many talented Broadway people, and if it's a good story and good
Exactly.
music, then anyone that
Anyone.
plays it is
Exactly.
going to be enjoyable.
Exactly. You don't have to see
You
the
don't
star.
have to see the star.
Yep. All right, so we'll see you at the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Don't wanna drift away. Wanna stay inside the play. Keep me engaged, keep me amused with what's in front of me. 'Cause I don't wanna be bored and confused.